Bank teller laughed at my loan request until she discovered I owned the entire building. I walked into Riverside National Bank at 3:15 p.m., wearing my paint-splattered overalls and construction boots, the scent of sawdust clinging to my jacket from the property renovation work I'd been supervising across town. The marble lobby gleamed under harsh fluorescent lights as I approached the business loan department, clutching a folder of documents that would change everything. The teller behind the polished counter, Patricia Kellerman, according to her nameplate, didn't even look up from her phone when I approached, completely absorbed in whatever social media drama had captured her attention. Only when I cleared my throat twice did she glance up, her expression immediately shifting to one of barely concealed irritation as her eyes traveled from my worn boots to my stained shirt with obvious disdain. "Can I help you?" Her voice carried that particular tone reserved for people she considered beneath her station, continuing to tap her phone screen while half listening to my response. When I explained I needed information about a business loan application, Patricia's laugh was sharp and theatrical. She finally set her phone aside and leaned back in her ergonomic chair, studying me like I was an amusing zoo exhibit. "A business loan? Sir, do you understand what bank you're in? This is Riverside National, not some community credit union." Her colleague Amanda at the adjacent desk turned to watch, sensing entertainment brewing. Patricia's voice grew louder, clearly performing for her coworker and the gathering audience of curious customers who had begun to notice the commotion developing at our counter. "Let me explain how this works," Patricia continued, her tone dripping with condescension as she gestured broadly at the opulent surroundings. "Business loans require substantial collateral, pristine credit histories, detailed financial statements, and proof of business viability. We're talking about serious money here, not pocket change for whatever handyman project you're running." She opened a brochure and slid it across the counter without looking at it. "There's a payday loan place 3 blocks down on Maple Street. They might be more accommodating for your situation." Amanda snickered behind her hand while Patricia basked in her own cleverness. The branch manager, Kenneth Walsh, emerged from his office after hearing the commotion, his expensive suit and polished shoes clicking authoritatively across the marble floor. The situation escalated when I mentioned the loan amount I needed. $60,000, I said quietly, trying to maintain dignity despite their increasingly public humiliation. Patricia's laughter echoed off the marble walls, drawing stares from every corner of the busy lobby. "$60,000? For what? Buying a fleet of pickup trucks?" She turned to Amanda with exaggerated shock. "He wants $60,000. Should I call security or do you think he'll leave voluntarily?" Kenneth's radio crackled as he reached for it, clearly preparing to have me escorted out. Other customers began pulling out phones, some recording the interaction while others simply stared at the unfolding drama. The atmosphere in the bank had shifted completely, with all attention focused on our corner where Patricia continued her performance. My phone rang at exactly 3:38 p.m., the sound cutting through Patricia's continued mockery like a knife. The caller ID displayed RN Property Management in bold letters, and I answered immediately, putting the call on speaker without thinking. "Mr. Blackwood, this is Jennifer from Building Operations. The elevator maintenance crew is asking about accessing the executive suite on the 23rd floor. Should I authorize them to use your master override code?" Patricia's laughter died mid-sentence as the words registered. Kenneth's hand froze on his radio while Amanda's mouth fell open. The customers with their phones suddenly found themselves recording something entirely different than they'd expected. The expensive marble lobby fell completely silent, except for the soft hum of air conditioning. "Tell them I'll be up in 10 minutes, I replied calmly, watching Patricia's face drain of color as the implications became clear. "And Jennifer, please have the lease renewal documents ready. The bank's agreement expires next month." I hung up and pulled out my building access card, the magnetic stripe gleaming under the harsh fluorescent lights. Patricia stared at the card while Kenneth stepped backward, his expensive shoes squeaking against the marble floor. The card reader at Patricia's workstation beeped green, and my photograph appeared on her computer screen alongside text that made her hands shake. "Building owner, executive access, unlimited privileges." The transformation was immediate and complete, Patricia's earlier arrogance evaporating as she realized she'd just mocked her own landlord. Within 15 minutes, Patricia was clearing out her desk drawer while Kenneth held a termination letter. The regional director arrived within the hour, profusely apologizing while Patricia carried her cardboard box through the same lobby where she'd humiliated me. Her final words were barely audible. "Please don't tell other banks what happened. My $60,000 loan was approved within hours.